Hello and welcome to the Earth Media Club. This is our first video, in fact, and we're talking about a pretty new movie. We're not right on the dot with this one. It's a couple weeks old now, but we've collected our thoughts on it, and yeah, it's a little known film.
Little indie movie.
Little indie movie. It's the Odyssey from good old Chris Nolan. This movie is maybe slightly infamous.
Just a little.
Just a little, a lot of hype, a lot of hubbub, and we want to cash in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about this in a non-spoiler way, and we're going to do spoilers in a second. I know it's an old story, but I think this movie can still be spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think our perspectives on this movie are, pretty well, I don't know if
rounded.
Yeah, I'm, a fan of movies and Chris Nolan movies generally, and you're into Greek mythology and the story itself.
Yeah, probably not as much as I used to be.
Sure.
It's been a while since I've engaged with the original story, so I could misremember some things.
Right.
So just keep that in mind.
But we're both into the big things that are important with this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, and to start, we're just going to talk about the kind of non-spoiler things and just kind of about the movie in general. So, how do you feel about this movie?
I had a good time with it in the theater. I was pleasantly surprised by it for the most part. I was a little disappointed here and there by, a few of the cuts that were made, like changing things around, some of the characterization. I thought it could have stuck the landing a little better, but, for what I'm pretty sure Nolan was going for, the story he was trying to tell, I think he did like a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
Getting his ideas across at least.
Yeah, and that's kind of basically entirely what I was looking at and what I was interested in. We were both a little bit nervous about this movie. You as like a fan of the story, or I don't know if a fan is the right term, but you're definitely interested.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of historical stuff. Greek mythology in particular has been like, a bit of an interest of mine for a long time. It's not like my main thing, but it is something I do enjoy engaging with and looking into.
Yeah. Yeah, and to me this was, the new Nolan movie.
Yeah.
Although, I am familiar with the Odyssey, but in a very surface level way, especially before we saw it. I knew about the Cyclops, and I knew that, there were sirens and something with an arrow and axes, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, I'd say most people know bits and pieces of the story through cultural osmosis, at least.
Yeah.
Which is why I think we wanted to do like a spoiler-free section, because, people know the story, but they perhaps don't know the story,
Yeah, like I didn't know what the third act of this movie was.
Yeah.
And thus we'll preserve it. So for you, if you're not familiar either. And yeah, I also quite like this movie, especially in the ways that you kind of expect. Like all the spectacle is great, and looks really good. All the camera work I thought was nice, and the performances, in general, were really good. Some of them I think were more were particularly interesting. Like when we get to spoilers, I'm going to talk about Matt Damon as Odysseus, because I feel like he's not an obvious choice, but for this interpretation of the movie, it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, if you are going into this movie for whatever reason, not expecting it to be entertaining or a feast for the eyes, then I don't know what to tell you. It's going to look good.
Yeah.
And it even sounds good, which was a concern of mine.
Oh, yeah.
Because the last couple Nolan movies have a bit of a sound issue, and I think that peaked with Tenet, which we watched recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. that movie's all over the place.
Yeah, it's kind of abysmal, actually.
Oh dear, I don't know about abysmal. I think there's some promise in that movie, but the sound is bad.
The sound is, I don't know. Like, I don't know. We're not talking about Tenet, so I'm not gonna.
No, although Tenet was the first Nolan movie with Ludwig Göransson, and
True.
that score is great, and the score's great in this one too.
Yeah, I think the score is a real standout for this movie. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and there's been like especially like a dialogue mixing issue, and with previous Nolan movies, and I didn't really find that to be an issue at all.
No, at least in the theater.
No, I mean maybe the home release will be bad.
Yeah, everyone was pretty audible in the theater, and I think the sound mixing was great. For like a couple scenes in particular, which we'll talk about in the spoiler section.
Yeah, it certainly can be loud sometimes, but I mean it's a big crazy movie.
I think the loudness lends to the atmosphere in a lot of points in this movie.
Yeah, the atmosphere in general and like the visuals, I quite enjoyed. I think there's, also part of Nolan's reputation is that he makes kind of gray movies, and when I say gray, I mean like steely, not really.
Not
like,
millennial gray.
No, like there's a trend among movies being super gray, and it's not the same.
I wouldn't necessarily say like gray, more like washed out.
Yeah, washed out is like the trend.
Yeah.
For movies, and this is not that.
It has a nice contrast, even if it isn't like super vibrant or colorful.
It's very shadowy, this movie.
Yeah.
Which I liked.
I wish it were a little more colorful, but that's not really his shtick.
No.
So.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting him to do any of that.
No, and I think I almost feel kind of the opposite. This is like a movie that obviously we haven't talked about, but Frankenstein. I feel kind of the opposite in some ways with the visuals of these two movies.
Really?
Yeah. Like Frankenstein, I did not like the camera work in that movie. And we're talking about Del Toro's Frankenstein.
Okay.
I didn't really like the camera work. It was all like very wide, and I don't know.
I'd need to watch it again.
Sure. But the costumes and the sets in that movie are amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they're gorgeous sets that are shot, I think, kind of iffy. And then this movie, we weren't really impressed with the costumes.
No, not at all.
I think they look kind of weird and fake.
Yeah, there were a couple points in the movie where I thought they looked a bit like foam.
Yeah.
Which is not great.
Especially the Trojans, they don't look very good.
No. Yeah, and the armor that Odysseus and his men wear doesn't really look like bronze either. And like if this is set in the Bronze Age, you might as well have like some bronzy looking metals, and they don't, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to look dirty, but it kind of just
doesn't
looks
really
like,
come across that way.
No, it just seems like that's the material that they're made out of.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like I said, the Trojans, it looks like it's like wood or something, but it's a very they look very strange.
It's a difficult material to place, which is not really something you want when you're have characters with armor.
Yeah, and this revolves around the Trojan War. They're important. We see them quite a bit. And then and also a lot of the armor just. I'm not very concerned about historical accuracy.
If the armor looked like how it did during that period of time, it would look a little goofy. Like, if this were a documentary, I'd say it would be a bit more egregious for it to look the way it does, but it isn't a documentary.
No.
So.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's a piece of art. I don't think it's, the purpose of this movie is not to replicate reality.
Yeah.
But they don't look very good.
No. Yeah. I think the armor specifically could have been handled a little bit better.
Yeah.
In terms of like, I don't know, just representing the history. Like, it doesn't need to look exactly like how Bronze Age armor looks, because again, it would look a little silly. And I know that's not really the energy that Nolan would go for.
Yeah.
But I do think just having them look like they're made of bronze would have gone a long way.
Yeah, I feel like there's some kind of middle ground that you can make between taking, historical Greek armor and modernizing it enough, because I think part of why it looks the way it does is so it's not distracting to modern audiences, but
That's fair.
it's also like I didn't like how it looked.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if it's not supposed to be distracting, then I think it kind of failed.
Yeah. And what I mean by that is like, you look at Greek armor and it looks silly to us.
Yeah, in that specific time period that the Odyssey takes place in. Other like later Greek armors do look cool.
Yeah. And in the movie they look kind of European.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like the giants, the Lystragonians is what they're called, I think.
I think that's how it's pronounced.
Okay. They have like straight up plate armor, like it's fucking England or something.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
But they still look cool anyway. Like,
yeah, I'd say the biggest issue with the costuming
mm,
and some of the set design is that it makes it feel like it doesn't take place in the Mediterranean.
yeah, it has a very European vibe, I think. Which, your mileage will vary on how much you care about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super concerned with that. I understand why people are.
It does irk me,
Mhm.
but like, I don't know. I'm not expecting the most historically accurate
Yeah.
adaptation out of Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, and I honestly feel like it's very similar to what he did with Batman.
Oh, yeah.
There's been kind of like the opposite reaction to what happened with the prequels with his Batman movies, where like people are like turning on them, and I think a lot of it is just like the aesthetics don't really like they don't really look like Batman comics aesthetically, and I think a lot of people get hung up on that. And I think that there's a similar thing going on with the Odyssey, where it's like it doesn't really look right.
Yeah. It's a
and-
little disjointed in the visuals.
Yeah. But, like I was saying, it's like the opposite of how I feel about that Frankenstein movie, where it's like, it's all this stuff that is like kind of a little bit off, but it's like shot really nicely. So it's not the end of the world, these costumes. They're just not as good as they could be.
Yeah.
And I feel like, that's worth.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's not like the end all be all.
Yeah, that's like probably my only issue with the presentation, though, because like it's all shot very well, and the action's like really good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when, in the third act, which I'll talk about later,
Mm-hmm.
and then throughout the movie, we're dealing with Cyclops and giants and sea creatures and stuff like that, and yeah, all this like big scale stuff is what Nolan's really good at.
Mm-hmm.
And so all that stuff is great. If you're looking for blockbuster thrills, then this is definitely the movie to go to. And this is the kind of blockbuster that I want to see more of.
That's fair.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of CG in this movie. I know that there's like, I don't know how much I want to get into it, but like I know
we can get into it more in the spoilers, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna talk about like the CG, because like there's this reputation that Nolan has where he doesn't use CG, and I don't think he even like really says that.
Because you don't like CGI.
I like it for what it's good for. I like it to enhance what you should.
But then it like loops around, and then people are like, "But look at all this CG, you fucking liar!" And it's like he didn't even say that. It's just that there's not green screens all over this movie.
Yeah. There are practical puppets and whatnot.
Yeah, there's puppets and people in the ocean and shit like that. And so it's all very like visceral, and it feels very
If
real.
they can do it practically, they do it practically, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So that's why they created the Cyclops in a lab.
Yeah.
in Universal.
Yeah.
They made that shit.
Grew it out of a tube.
Yeah.
Raised it for this specific purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Do you want to get into spoilers now?
Sure.
Yeah. I think we'll start off with your grievances as a fan of Greek mythology.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I can't really comment that much on it.
Yeah, okay. I would say my biggest grievances with it is how, the whole sequence with Polyphemus the Cyclops is handled as well as, the things that are happening with Calypso. I feel like she could have been...
She does nothing.
I know, she could have done so much more. I don't mind that her section is, combined with the Lotus Eaters stuff, because, they had to cut some stuff for time, and if they were gonna cut the Lotus Eaters, I think injecting the Lotus stuff into Calypso's section and having Odysseus be the victim of the Lotuses rather than his men is interesting, at the very least. But I do wish Calypso had a little bit more presence.
Yeah, I knew about Calypso. I know that she's in the story and that Odysseus is on her island for 7 years.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things that even I knew, this is kind of undercooked a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, shame.
It is very much undercooked, along with a lot of the female characters in this movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, if you're expecting Nolan to get good at writing women, then now's not the movie. No. Yeah,
and going back to the Cyclops thing, I think while it's fine how they did it, I understand that Nolan is going for a bit more of a grounded and gritty thing. Mm-hmm. You do lose a bit of character for Odysseus in having him not trick the Cyclops in the way that he does in the poem.
Yeah.
Because they just kind of wait around in the movie and then stab Polyphemus when he's asleep. Mm-hmm. And they don't even learn his name, which I think is an interesting choice, but it's not really my favorite because I really love that whole sequence in the original.
The Cyclops is very much presented as a monster in this movie. I think now I will talk about Odysseus because to my knowledge, this is it's kind of strange how Odysseus differs from the traditional version as far as I know, because it seems like for most of the story typically he is a little bit more of a trickster or a little bit more of a dick or just kind of a darker character in general, right?
Again, it's been a while since I've engaged with the original story, but I think he's
very heroic.
He's very typical of Greek heroes.
Okay. So full of flaws, basically.
Yeah.
But the Trojan horse is not really presented in a kind of dark way like it is in the movie, right? Typically.
Well, the Trojan horse stuff doesn't happen in the Homeric poem.
But, you know what I mean.
The Trojan horse is, as far as I can recall, it's portrayed in a more this cool thing that I did, this awesome trick.
Yeah, and that's not how it's presented in the movie at all.
No.
And that's something that's interesting to me about this version of Odysseus. And I think that part of why Matt Damon was cast is because it's very often that he will play a very competent, potentially dangerous character that has a heart of gold or is in some way very relatable. And I think Jason Bourne is kind of like that, where he's this crazy skilled hitman, but he doesn't know who he is, and therefore he's kind of a regular guy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it's like in The Martian. He's obviously a scientist and an astronaut, but he's very personable. And I think that's kind of why he was cast in this movie, because he is a man among gods, but he is quite powerful relative to most regular people. He is a king, and he's the only person that can string the bow, and he's very skilled. He's Greek Jason Bourne.
Yeah, I
in a way.
I think he literally has a title. He's the cleverest of the Greeks or something like that.
Yeah, so he's not a regular person, and I think that Matt Damon undercuts in an intentional way that grandness to his character and brings him down to earth. That's fair. That's how I felt about this version of Odysseus.
I unfortunately found Odysseus to be a little, I don't know if flat's the right word, but I was not convinced by his motivations, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm interested what you mean in that, because I think his motivations are super simple in this movie.
Well, yeah, but I don't believe that he's motivated by his supposed motivations. Because like,
we're in spoilers. You can say guilt.
okay,
You know.
yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like he's guilty a lot of the time to me. I mean, I guess it does, but the way in which that is explored doesn't feel as visceral as it could be. Like, it kind of feels like Odysseus is just muted as a character. But that's just me.
Yeah, I don't think I agree.
I would probably need to watch it a second time, honestly, because it's been a couple weeks since we've seen it, so I could just be like misremembering some stuff, or maybe I don't remember a couple scenes or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I don't really agree. I feel like because late into the movie, Odysseus has this big monologue about the Trojan horse and his guilt towards it, because it's basically this big violation of Zeus's law, which comes up
a billion times.
Yeah. Constantly in this movie.
And they never say the word Xenia.
No. It's just totally substituted for Zeus's law. But, I feel like, it's like we're presenting Odysseus as like kind of like a typical hero throughout the movie. And then it's like there's like a subversion in his monologue where we find out that he's been guilty this whole time. And that's why I don't entirely agree with what you're saying about
that's fair.
Him being flat, because I think we're not supposed to know that he feels guilty for the movie. It's kind of a reveal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if flat was the correct word.
Sure.
And I'd probably need to collect my thoughts a little bit more. Because, like, I don't know precisely why I feel that I wouldn't even say it's a bad performance. I just feel like the character was muted in some way.
Yeah, I think it's because he's supposed to be a little bit of a mystery to us. We're not entirely supposed to know how he feels until late in the movie.
That's fair.
And I quite liked this kind of version of the Trojan horse and adding this guilt to it. And something I'm going to talk about in a second is that it feels very Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll go over just a couple more things about the movie before I say that. I was not really into the Tom Holland subplot.
Yeah, I think it's a little unfortunate that didn't bring more tension to, the present, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, we want Odysseus to get home as fast as possible, because if he doesn't, then his family is going to be hurt by these suitors. But unfortunately, they spend so much time explaining what happened to Agamemnon and like having scenes with, Menelaus that I think probably could have been a little shorter, or if not shorter, a little more intense.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I might not remember what exactly happened in those scenes. I might be mixing some stuff up.
Oh, there's not a lot of urgency, so I don't think there's a lot to remember. It's just like, when we're with Odysseus and his men, it's like, we're dealing with monsters and giants, and it's all very exciting. And then we cut to Tom Holland talking to John Bernthal, and it's like, whatever.
I'm recalling now that there's some like unfortunate repetition between the sections with Telemachus and the sections with Odysseus and Hades, because Telemachus talks to Menelaus about Agamemnon, and we learn what happened to Agamemnon through Menelaus' story.
Yeah.
And then Odysseus talks to Agamemnon in Hades and hears the
they
story
cut together?
again. I think they were.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't mind it.
I didn't really have a problem with that section in particular with Agamemnon and his kind of story.
Yeah, because it's interesting, and I think it does, feed into how Odysseus acts when he gets home.
Yeah.
I just think that the section with Telemachus probably could have been handled a little better.
Yeah, and also Robert Pattinson totally steals that subplot.
Oh, certainly.
It really should be about Telemachus and Penelope.
Yeah.
And it is, but anytime Robert Pattinson shows up.
I sincerely think Penelope should have had more screen time, more agency, and more presence as a character. 'Cause she also feels kind of muted to me.
Yeah. Not very familiar with Penelope as a character, but just as a character in the movie, she's a little lame,
Yeah.
you know?
Shocker.
Yeah.
The female characters are not written particularly well.
I know. It's definitely unfortunate. And it's weird because the third act I really enjoyed. And it's when it's where both stories kind of come together. And I really think a lot of it is just that the Odysseus story was good basically the whole time. Except for Calypso. She was also lame.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't really get much to do.
Yeah.
But by the time that we get to Ithaca again, it has been, 2 hours into this 3-hour movie, basically. So, it takes quite a long time for the big fight between Odysseus and the suitors. But I love that whole section, and I feel like the momentum of the movie kind of made it so that it could earn a little bit more time to be kind of chill. You know, there's all these little things that are getting set up where, you know, Odysseus is talking to characters that we've met, and you know, we're setting up the contest with the arrows and with I guess the arrow and the axes.
Yeah.
And you know, we're seeing different people try it, and people are talking shit to Odysseus and they don't know who he is. It's just like all this build up, and then when we finally do get back into the action, it was like very cathartic, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. I did enjoy the third act quite a bit.
Yeah, but you didn't like the ending, it seems.
It kind of loses me because I don't know. Like, I understand what Nolan was going for, but like to show up at Ithaca and then leave like right away and abandon your people and leave your son as king, even though you'd like just met him for the first time since he was like 2 years old, is a little strange. It's a strange decision in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah. I can get that. I'm going to talk about the ending in a second when I kind of mention the like Oppenheimer connection. Let's talk about Cersei for a second.
Yeah, I actually did quite enjoy the section with Cersei. It's a little abridged, I'll say, from the original as far as I can recall.
Sure.
But it is a bit of a standout because of the way that she turns the men into pigs. I really love how that is shot and like the way she molds them.
Yeah.
I think that's super, super cool.
It's
so
like
I can forgive it for being a little different.
Yeah, there's like some kind of molded from clay imagery.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I heard that like literally part of the effect was like molding clay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's cool.
I would love to see some like behind the scenes footage. Maybe when like the Blu-ray comes out.
Yeah, that'll be super sick.
Some of that. 'Cause there's been like little like clips that have come out online, but I haven't seen anything from Cersei's Island. Probably because the movie wasn't out when those came out. So yeah, something that is very interesting is, to my knowledge, Cersei has like an island, she obviously she has an island in the movie too.
Yeah.
But like she has like a castle or a temple or something like that, typically.
Yeah, it's a little fancier than her hovel.
Yeah.
In the movie.
And I'm so curious, and I really should read the poem because in the movie it seems like so fitting. Like it's kind of hard for me to imagine what it's like being in like kind of a grander location. And I know I probably sound like an idiot to anybody that's like familiar with the story, but it seems like it's so fitting to me the way that the movie presents it. Where she's very unassuming, and like it makes a lot of sense why she's scared of Odysseus' men. Yeah. And obviously they're still going to be scary if you're in like a temple or something like that, but it's a little bit more obvious that she might be like a witch or has access to magic. Yeah.
I would say that the way Nolan has gone about portraying Cersei works for the film. And unfortunately I don't remember a whole lot about what her island looks like in particular.
Yeah.
I just know that she has like a bunch of nymphs and stuff that she hangs out with.
Which are replaced with big cats.
Maybe. I don't know if the big cats are technically her nymphs. They might just be some guys.
I mean, they're implied to be some former human. I feel like because like
Definitely.
the crow, or it was a crow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, her crow was like her sister, I think.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a thing in the original.
Okay.
That's also a bit more European, I would say.
Yeah, the vibe is this is a European version of the Odyssey. It's a European and American version.
Maybe European's a bit too broad. It's like a Anglo version.
Yeah, but I mean also like, you know, the ships are very like Viking, you know. So
yeah, I actually found the boats a little distracting.
They're strange for sure. I want to talk about the language for a second.
Okay.
Because it is not, obviously it's not in Greek. It's not in ancient Greek. And it's in like modern American English.
Mm-hmm.
And I quite appreciated that. You
Okay.
know, I know that it's like there's like this expectation that it's supposed to be like this like weird old-timey Shakespearean English or something, which I think is just as fake.
Yeah, it's no less accurate.
No. So
yeah.
I think, you know, if you're going to do it for a modern audience, just skip over all these middlemen like ways of speaking. Just go to where it is right now.
If you're making something for a contemporary audience, you need to speak to your audience on like a contemporary level.
Yeah.
Unless like you really want the dialogue to sound old-timey.
Mm-hmm. And I think a big part of this interpretation of the Odyssey is making it feel very personal and visceral, and kind of bringing the audience into like where the characters are. And it feels like it's not trying to be like this big myth. It's almost like it's adapting like a book, you know, more than like this big legend.
Yeah, I'd say it feels that way for sure.
Yeah, and I appreciated that choice. I thought it, you know, it was interesting, and I really, you know.
Yeah, it didn't bother me. I thought the dialogue felt a little clunky here and there, but overall it wasn't like a huge issue for me.
There's something that Tom Holland said on like the press tour, where somebody was complaining about him saying "dad," and he was like, "Well," or you know, and they're like, "Why didn't you say father? That's like seems like it'd fit more." And he said like, "Well, they wouldn't say that either because it's in Greek."
You say dad rather than father.
Because I wouldn't have even said father back in the day, would I? I would have been in Greek.
And the whole thing's translated, so it's like...
Yeah.
And I don't... It's weird, like, why wouldn't they be casual sometimes? Like...
Yeah.
Telemachus and Antinous, they don't respect each other in this conversation. Why would they be proper to each other?
No,
They wouldn't be. Like, they would be saying the equivalent of dad and daddy in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought it was fine, because it's like, we're just skipping to how it feels when these people are talking to each other.
Yeah, I think that the like discourse around the use of contemporary language kind of lends itself to the whole like historical accuracy thing.
Yeah, and it's also, with the language, it's people want a fake historical accuracy.
Yeah.
So...
It's like, I don't know, if they do a dub in Greek or even in ancient Greek, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But if you're going to release it to contemporary audience, the audience won't understand and they'll leave halfway through your movie.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about another fucking lame controversy.
Yeah.
People were mad about Lupita Nyong'o and Elliot Page, and you're a fucking chud if you are mad about either of these things.
Yeah, or like any of the other cast members who are like non-white or non-Greek.
Yeah, this movie's not Greek at all.
No.
And
it feels very European all throughout.
But it does have a diverse cast. Like one of Odysseus' men is like Asian.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's super cool.
And Helena Troy is black, and obviously her sister is, you know.
Yeah,
They're both Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah, and I think overall those were good casting decisions. Like I think Elliot Page does a great job at being Sinan.
Yeah,
it's kind of a standout performance for me.
Not, oh my God, Achilles.
Yeah,
he's not Achilles. That was a big rumor for a while, but Achilles isn't even in the movie.
No.
But yeah, he does a great job of Sinan. He doesn't get much to do, but he's cool.
Great monologue.
Yeah. In Hades. That whole Hades sequence I was into.
Yeah, and for how little Helen is in the movie, I think Lupita does a fantastic job.
Yeah. Shout out Us. Go watch
Yeah.
that movie.
And yeah, I appreciate how diverse the cast is, because it's not like the Mediterranean is a very homogenous place.
No.
Even back then, like the Bronze Age was an age of trade, and Africa's right there. So it's not like the biggest leap in logic, but the logic I don't think matters.
No, and yeah, if you're gonna tell me like, oh, I don't like Lupita Nyong'o in this movie because she's not Greek,
Then
she looks as Greek as Matt Damon does.
yeah.
You know, as anybody in this fucking movie does. So like, please, I know you're not actually concerned about the accuracy of this casting.
Yeah, no. And like, I really enjoy Hades, the video game,
Yeah.
and their design philosophy for a lot of the gods is to be very diverse. And I really appreciate that philosophy because it allows them to get a bit more creative with it. And while that's not necessarily the case for this movie, because, you know, it's not as flamboyant artistically,
Yeah.
I think it does lend to the idea that this sort of story and sort of I've lost my train of thought, sorry.
Oh dear. It's okay. Basically, if you're not gonna, I feel similarly about the cast as I do about the language. Like, if you're not gonna do Greek, which we're not because it's a $300 million movie, then you might as well do it in modern English with a diverse cast.
Yeah, I think I remembered my point. The idea that nope, it's gone again.
Okay, it's fine. Do you want to talk about the Oppenheimer connection now?
Just do it. I can't remember what I was gonna say. You distracted me.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, something that I was thinking about. There's this big monologue that Odysseus has before things get crazy and he fights all the suitors about the Trojan horse. And as far as I know, this is a pretty unique kind of interpretation of the horse and of Odysseus's kind of opinion on it. He feels very guilty about it in the movie, and it's presented as this like, this like massive breaking of Zeus's law and the kind of social order. And to me, it felt very, Oppenheimer-esque, and even Tenet, I feel like, which is not as good as these two movies.
Yeah.
But there's a connection between all three of them. All three of them are kind of about the end of the world in some way, and they're all going further back in time. And with Tenet, it's like directly about the end of the world is the threat at the end of the movie, and they stop it. The end of the world has stopped, and we even have communication with the future. So it's like we were always going to stop it. There's it's very wishy-washy, that movie about like free will and determinism, but basically it's a pretty deterministic movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense if it's not that way. But anyway, we stopped the end of the world. We were always going to, and we always will, because that's the only way that this could have happened. And then in Oppenheimer, it's kind of the opposite, where it's the end of the world is imminent, is kind of the feeling that we get at the end of that movie, where it's all, obviously the movie is about the atomic bomb being created, and at the end, Oppenheimer says, like, I think we did cause the end of the world eventually. And then with this movie, it's almost like we kind of go to, it's almost like a where it all began. It's like the origin of the end, or it's the beginning of the end is kind of what it feels like. The Trojan horse is like this spiritual death for civilization that all kind of leads to where we go later on with Oppenheimer and Tenet. Although this movie does have a little bit of hope in it, in a way that Oppenheimer didn't.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like civilizations will they will end and they will be reborn, and things will collapse and then come back, and we will survive. It's kind of the feeling I get from this movie. So it is more hopeful than Oppenheimer, but it is still like we kind of fucked ourselves a long time ago. Is the feeling?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of like this is where it all went wrong, kind of, which I think is a really interesting interpretation for this story.
Yeah, it's an interesting take for sure.
Yeah, and I thought that was really cool and definitely sticks with me.
It's a little on the nose.
Maybe, but I don't think it's an obvious way to
Our
for this.
age of bronze.
Yeah. And there's also like a Sea People reference, which I hadn't heard that term before, but since watching the movie, I heard that's like it's almost like a kind of historical theory.
Yeah.
About Mediterranean societies collapsing at this time.
Yeah.
Which is super interesting to me. I'm very interested in the Sea People, you know. And the movie presents it as like the Greeks and Odysseus and Agamemnon are the Sea People is the implication.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's what the Trojan horse is.
Not necessarily like.
Not literally.
Yeah, just you know.
Yeah, it's not suggesting that this is literally what happened in history. It's more like taking this historical idea and applying it to the story about the spiritual death of mankind. Do you have any closing thoughts about this movie?
We brought up the sound earlier, but never really brought it back to the particular scenes that we liked for the sound. The ones that I was thinking of were, you know, the scene with the Cyclops, Polyphemus.
Amazing. Big scream.
Fantastic. I loved how loud it was. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
And then the other one was the one with the sirens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was very interesting. Sound design. Where, like, all the kind of chaos of the movie, like, kind of goes away. Because the siren song is, like, it's seductive.
It's irresistible.
Yeah, but then it turns very dark and very, like, painful.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, that was all great.
Yeah, and I think my two nitpicks that, you know, there aren't huge issues with the movie, but Helios's cattle being called Apollo's cattle bugged me.
Yeah. That's weird.
It's just a strange decision, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think I had another one, but I've forgotten it.
Yeah, okay. Well,
I've been eating too many lotus flowers.
Oh dear, that'll do it. This is not a perfect movie. You know, I brought up Oppenheimer quite a bit. I thought that movie was like a home run, and this movie's not.
I thought Oppenheimer was okay.
Okay, I don't agree. I think that movie's amazing.
Maybe I'll change my mind if I watch it again.
Yeah. I think like, you know, Tenet, not very good. Probably my least favorite Nolan movie. And then Oppenheimer's top 3 for me, and then this one's like really good, you know.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's got some issues. The costumes are bad.
As a blockbuster, I'd say it's great. Yeah. As an adaptation of the Odyssey, I'd say it's okay.
Yeah. But, you know, it's pretty much my introduction, and my curiosity is piqued. So I think
that's good.
In that way, it's a success. And I'm sure there's a lot of people like that. I would be shocked if this movie did not sell, you know, 100,000 books, right?
An Odyssean dollars.
Odyssean dollars. That's how much it's making. This movie's a big success. I gotta say, which I think is good because this is the kind of movie I want to see more of. Like this movie is a risk.
That's fair.
In a lot of ways, and it's like it is not slop. You know. No.
Thank God.
Yeah, and this will be another video, I'm sure, but this is a very interesting year for movies, where like a lot of like the kind of shitty movies that we've been dealing with for 15 years are dying, and a lot of cool movies are doing well. And I think this movie belongs in the cool movie category, even if it's not perfect.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Like it could have stuck the landing a little better in my opinion, but
yeah.
I don't think that makes it like a horrible movie.
No. And yeah, it's the kind of thing I want to see more of.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, I think that's it for us.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. We'll be back pretty soon to talk about Spider-Man. That comes out in just a couple days from when we're recording. The video will probably come out after. I think the order's going to be kind of weird, but it doesn't matter. Really.
Yeah. Alas, we have lives to live and whatnot.
I know. Terrible. Bye.
Bye.